In this video, I'll go over how to create your own viral text animations and how to make them reusable for any timeline. Let's get it. So first, we need to go over the settings. For this video, I'm going to be working in a 1080p timeline just to make things go faster, and I'm working in a 24 FPS timeline. Go to the effects panel. You're going to grab a text plus from the titles and bring it to your timeline. Then I'm going to go over here to the Fusion icon in the inspector tab and click on it. It'll take me into Fusion. So now part of the little secret sauce to make it reusable for any timeline is to use a background node and a letterbox node. This will make it adaptable for any timeline. So if you're editing a long form video, it'll automatically scale to that. Or if you're editing a short form video, it'll scale to that as well. So I'm gonna go over to the top now and grab a background node. I'm gonna disconnect the template. I'm gonna take the output of the background node connected to my media out. Then I go to the inspector tab and turn the alpha all the way down to 0, giving us a blank composition again. Then I'm hit Control Space. Type in letterbox, enter. Go to the inspector tab of the letterbox. We're going to check auto resolution. And then on the mode, we're going to hit the drop down and go to pan and scan. I'm going to bring the media out and the letterbox down here to the bottom. You'll make sure you keep those two nodes at the end of your composition. So I'll reposition my background node. Then I'll take the output of my template and connect it to the background node, which will automatically create a merge. I'm going to create a drop down animation. So utilizing these offset controls, I'm going to go to about frame 12. I'm going to click down here to set the frame. I'm clicking 12. Now, with me editing a 24 FPS timeline, 12 is roughly half a second. You can make the animations longer if you want to, but we're going to kind of keep them snappy since most likely they're going to be used for captions. So at frame 12, I'm going to set a keyframe on our offset X and Y. Then I go to the very first frame. On the Y axis, I'm going to move this up just a little bit. So when I play it, it just creates this drop down animation. Go to the spline tab. You're going to click here to zoom to fit, and then hit Control A to select all frames. Then we're going to right click, go to ease, and then you're going to select the out cubic. Now you can adjust this if you want to, or you can leave it as it is. If you want to adjust it, hold Alt, or I think it's Option on Mac, and grab the handle. And whichever direction you move to first is going to lock in on that direction. So if I hold Alt and then move to the side, I can't move it up and down. I can only move it left to right. This helps keep the animation curves aligned up to the grid. Then I hold Alt again and pull this one to the left. It's going to speed up the animation. So right there is a little too fast. So I'm going to actually go back and hit Control Z. I'm gonna leave it as default. Now, ordinarily with a little animation like this, you would add like a mask to it, just though basically so it's not just dropping down out of nowhere. But we want this to be reusable no matter where we place it on in our framing of our compositions. So we're gonna actually use opacity. Go over to the shading tab now, and we're gonna go to about frame 7 or 8, and then on the shading you choose the opacity. Check to make a keyframe, then go back to frame 0. And just turn this down to 0. Now in the spline tab, you can uncheck displacement. That way you'll only be editing the opacity spline. I'm gonna hit Control A or Command A if you're on Mac to select all. Right click. We're gonna use the same curve, out cubic. So now doing this gives the appearance that the text is actually masked out. Now also in the shading, we're gonna create a gradient. So we're gonna go down here to gradient right here. So the gradient has two colors. You have black and white. I'm gonna grab the white gradient down here. If you click on it, you'll see it turn white. And I'm gonna move it down more towards the middle. And then I'm gonna click on the black gradient, and you can do one of two things. You can leave it as it is, and which basically creates this little drop-off shadow here, or you can turn the alpha all the way down, which then turns it basically almost transparent. You just kind of play with it to see what kind of look you're looking for. You can of course change the color by selecting one of the gradients, then change the color to something else. But for right now, we're just gonna leave it white. Now, when I created TextFlow, which is my text animation pack that you can download right now for 60% off, that ends this coming Friday. I actually use a drop shadow and a glow node for the text presets. Instead of going through the whole process of actually creating an actual preset for the edit page, we're gonna make the template that we're using right now usable on the edit page and have customization as far as the drop shadow and the glow, which you're capable of doing with the shading tab. So if you want drop shadow, you go over here to shading 3 and enable it. You'll see the little drop shadow there. It was actually black shadow, but you can reposition it as well. If I move this down on the position on the Y-axis, I can move it down. And I'm gonna turn up the softness on the X and Y axis, which is under the softness tab. So that gives a drop shadow. I'm gonna actually disable this right now. Now, if I go back to element 1, which is basically our text itself, I can go down here to softness and I can apply the glow. It's not gonna be really noticeable here. Then I can turn up the softness on the X and Y axis. You want to kind of keep it more or less subtle. So now that does add a glow, but it's not very nice. So if you want, you can click on the merge node here, hit Control Space, type in glow. You can use the glow or the soft glow. The soft glow is usually less taxing on your computer. And actually, if you turn up the threshold, it will only illuminate the brightest parts of your text. So right now, it's illuminating the top part up here. Then I can adjust the glow size and the gain. If you do decide to use the glow node, you'll have to basically go back into Fusion in order to customize the controls. Now, if you go back to the edit page, we have our custom text. It's just a simple slide down animation. I'm gonna go over to File, change this from text plus. So we changed the name to slide down. So now we have a slide down animation. So now I'm going to show you how to quickly create new presets using the same template. So select the template, hold Alt, or I think it's Option on Mac, and slide over to make a copy. Then we're going to go open that in Fusion. Go back to frame 0 and select the template itself. Now you'll notice this little green line over here. Basically, all we got to do is move the position of this. So we're going to click on this. Now, if you hold Shift, it will actually lock the parameters where you can't move it left or right, and then just move it straight down. So now when you play it back, you got a slide up animation. Then we just go back to the edit page and then change this from slide down to slide up. And then you just repeat. So hold Alt, grab your template, slide over to make another copy, then open that copy in Fusion, go back to frame 0 and select your template text. This time we're actually going to move it to the left. So when you play here back to frame 0, grab the bottom notch here and then move it up more or less vertical as possible. So now you have to slide in from the left animation and then just reverse that to slide in from the right. Now you have 4 different presets. And once you're done creating these presets, go to your power bin. If you don't see power bin, go over to this 3-dot menu, make sure show power bin is shown. And of course in your power bin, you're not gonna see all this is all my stuff here, but you're gonna right click, select new bin, go to the bin and double click on click on the name and just give it a name. We're gonna call it text animation or text anim. And then I can just select all 3 of these and drag them up to that bin. So now with it being the power bin, those text animations will be available in any project. Right now, my timeline is long form, but if I switch it to vertical, those text animations will rescale themselves. So if I hit Control N to create a new timeline, uncheck project settings, go to format, and just select use vertical resolution. I hit create. If I go back to my power bin, for text atom, and then go to slide up and just drop it down here, it automatically rescales itself to that particular timeline or to that particular resolution rather. Now, if you're lazy and don't want to go through the steps of creating your own text animations, I got you with TextFlow. TextFlow is my editing pack that has over 50 presets and 30 timeline templates to speed up your editing workflow. Use the link in the description. You can get it for $20 up until this Friday. Use the link in the description. You can get the pack for $20 up until this Friday, and it'll be the final day. I'll leave a link right here for a video and also in the description for more information on it. And now I'm going to animate with the follower modifier. Now in Fusion, I have my same setup. I'm going to go over here to the dialog box where the text is, right click. I'm going to select follower. Now you see this little modifier tab pop up over here. I'm gonna click on it. You have new tabs. You have the timing, text, transform, shading, and settings. The timing is how you control the animation in between each individual character. And the order in which you animate the characters is set to automatically by default. You can change it from left to right, right to left, inside out, outside in, random but 1 by 1, completely random, or manual curve. I usually like to have it set up from left to right, so I'm just gonna click on that. Then delay between each character, or delay between first and last character. So basically the first word, the first letter and the last letter of the word you're animating, or the text that you're animating. I'm gonna leave it set it between each character. And then as far as the delay, you don't want to crank it up too high, because if you go too high, it will actually the animation will last longer than your actual composition. For about 0.45 is pretty good. If you go all the way up to 1, it's gonna animate a single frame in between each character. It's going to give you a lot longer of an animation. Now, using the follower modifier gets kind of tricky and it gets kind of confusing. You want to make sure you're in the modifier tab because the tabs look more or less the same. You do have the layout tab here. So now I'm going to go back over to the modifier tab. I'm going to click on transform. We're going to create a simple slide down animation again. So go to frame 12. Then I'm going to set a keyframe on the y-axis. Now you'll notice this change here because originally this is how you had to actually animate utilizing the follower modifier, but then they changed it where you can just go back up here to follower and you don't have to worry about messing with the displacement. So then I'm gonna go back to the first frame. I'm gonna move up on the y-axis. Basically like a little slight delay in between each character. So now if I go back over to time, I move and play here in between the animation. If I go over here to delay and turn this up, you'll see the delay is getting, if I turn this up to 1, you'll see the delay in between each character is longer. So now I'm gonna do like we did before and keyframe the opacity. So go over here to the shading tab. And one thing with using the follower modifier, nothing will actually display until you set the keyframe. So if I go over here to opacity and turn this up and down, it's not going to show me anything until I actually set a keyframe. Right now I'm in frame 8. I'm going to go, frame 7, set a keyframe. Then if I turn it down, it will actually show me the opacity. So I'm going to go back to frame 0, turn this all the way down to 0, and then it's going to create this little animation. Similar to like we did before, but like I said, it's animated in between each character. Then I turn on the spline tab. I'm gonna select my template. I'm gonna select all the frames, right click, then just select out cubic. If you want to, you can go over to settings and activate the motion blur, turn it up to 10. So now this is the animation with the motion blur. Smooth. Now, similar to what I did before, if you go back to the edit page, go Alt, make a copy. I can then go back into Fusion, and select my template. Then I can just move this handle here around to make other presets. Now with the shading tab, you have a number of different things you can animate as well. So with the template selected, make sure I click on the follower modifier, go back into shading. This is where most of your animation is going to take place. If you want to use a shadow from element 3 like I did before, you want to make sure you enable it under the tools tab, because if you enable it on the modifiers, you have to actually keyframe it for it to actually stick to your text. And if you don't like using element, you can just hit control space, type in drop shadow, hold shift, I'm gonna add it to the pipeline. Using the drop shadow node, the drop shadow is a lot more subtle. You can increase the strength if you want to, change the angle and all that stuff, but you'll have to go back into Fusion in order to change those controls, because there's no way to bring that to the edit page without going through the whole process of making an actual edit page preset. If you want me to do a full video breakdown on how to do that, let me know in the comment section. So now you should have some stepping stones on creating your own text animations. Make sure you mess around with the modifier and the shading tab to see what cool animations you can come up with. Again, if you want to skip the whole process of messing with keyframes and the spline tab, just download TextFlow. Right now it's 60% off, and the link in the description below. If you like today's video, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and I'll see y'all next time.